You're listening to the Wicked Theory Podcast.
We're very happy to have you back, even for a short visit.
And here we go.
Recorded to you live from underneath the floorboards in a creepy old house. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. Woohoo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back. It's another episode. This is number, 78. And I got Ed.
Hey, how's it going?
I got my brother Bob.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on? How's things? How's everybody doing? Can they hear us out there in TV and radio land, do you think? I don't know. For some reason, I feel like...
say, they can't hear us in TV land.
Yeah, I know. I tried to catch myself as soon as I said it. But, yeah, I just feel like maybe something was off with the setup coming in, but I guess not. Yeah, episode 78. Here we are. We're back. We've... a week went by. I don't think anything really fun happened or interesting.
Yeah, stuff.
That's good. That's a good answer, Ed. It's a real vague freaking answer. Thank you.
Doing a lot of overtime at work.
Oh, how's that going?
It's going.
It's going.
Mm.
You clocking?
Yeah.
You clocking the hours?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good. You're a responsible young man. It's very nice of you.
Sort of.
Sort of. As far as work goes. Everything else, not so much. So, yeah, this is 78. We're going to get to some, we're going to do a little bit of meanwhile, maybe not too much, a little bit of news. We've got some emails in the basket. And if you want to send one, you can send it to podcast@wickedtheory.com. You can hear us every Saturday right now where you are, if you're listening to us live, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mixlr, mixlr.com/wicked-theory, blah, 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 blah. And
et cetera.
Yeah.
Oh, Yule Runner.
Who doesn't miss that guy? A lot of people. So then if you want to support us, hey, you want to help us out, you want to keep this show rolling, you want to help us get to some funny stuff we want to do when we get there, you can support us on Patreon. Find us over there, patreon.com/wickedtheory. All right, that's the official business. It's done. It's out of the way. All right. Whew. I feel better already.
You ready to go?
Yeah, let's get the show started, I guess. I don't know. What do we do around here?
Oh, I thought it was ready to play.
It was all right. I mean,
reflex,
No, but that was good. That was
playing days. Like,
if I had something to back
ready
that
to
up.
1, 2, 3, 4.
If I had something to follow through that with. Damn it. Yeah. It's going to be some hardcore stuff here today, Ed. Can you handle it?
I think so.
Yeah, probably. Maybe. Yeah. Thanks for bringing your A game. Does it just feel off? Is the vibe off? Is it just me?
I don't know.
I feel like the rhythm is totally off right now.
I'm tired.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is.
I'm getting like a 2 second.
I'm sorry.
I'm getting like a 3 second delay from you.
It's my fault. You're waiting for me to push you, and I just keep. Oh yeah, what's going on? Hey.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Yeah,
I forgot.
I'm too down.
Just throw a lot of yeahs anytime I say something. Just go, yeah, boss, that's great.
He's out of rhythm now. He missed the show.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe because you weren't here last week.
Yeah. No, I was here.
Yeah, eventually.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually. So, yeah, you were doing a thing, and then you popped up for the after show,
mm-hmm.
which if anybody misses the after show live, you can always catch it on the Patreon. $1
and
gets you that.
We recorded a Patreon exclusive episode last night.
We did.
Ooh,
that was
yeah.
kind of fun.
Yep.
Well,
has it dropped yet?
kind of. No, not yet. That's going to go up.
Okay.
So what you guys are saying is it sucks to be someone who's not going to our Patreon and giving us a couple of bucks because they get extras.
That's true. I mean, that's where they can find a little bit extra in case you
Yeah.
just can't get enough of us.
Really?
There's more over there.
Yeah.
You know?
As well as an opportunity to make us make fun of Bill.
Yeah. Well, hey, I set myself up for it. So,
You really did. You're the one who planned out the
It was
Patreon.
my idea. It was my idea. Let's make sure that I get roasted. Because I just don't get I don't get picked on enough on the show. It's just a matter of fact. I just don't. You know what I mean? Maybe because I'm running the thing. No one wants to pick on me. Maybe there's a barrier there. People feel like they can't swing at me.
No one wants to pick on you? Is that what you're thinking?
No. I know there's plenty of opportunity. I'm surprised it doesn't come more often. I'm surprised that I have to wait for the ball to drop when I drop it
okay.
to get some. Way to go, buddy! You know.
Well,
Yeah.
up until recently, you were the guy who edited the episode, so you can make us look good or look bad.
That's true. People, Bob, don't let them
Now
know.
they're live episodes, so it's a little
Yeah,
different.
now it's different. Now you just got to leave it all in because
But
somebody.
now the habit's in place, you know?
That's true. That's true. So, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Ed, did you watch any stuff this week?
I think it's time for the meanwhiles.
Yeah, it's time for some meanwhiles. Did you
Yes, I
consume
did.
anything?
Meanwhile,
Oh, that's freaking loud.
yeah, there we go.
Meanwhile, good thing we don't need to go to that again.
Anyone here checking out Documentary Now on IFC?
I have. I haven't. I think I caught one this season, but I have watched it before.
It is, and the thing that's great about those is they're all closed ended, so you can.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what order you watch them.
Yeah, you can just jump
in. But their finale was this week.
Oh, jeez.
And the thing they do is they're usually half hours, but the last episode of each season is an hour. Last
okay.
one was this takeoff on the Eagles called the Blue Jean Committee.
No, I did see that.
Yeah.
Did I? I think I did. Or did they have like a?
Well, that was last season.
Oh,
that was
okay.
last. This season's finale was Mr. Runner-Up. My Life as an Oscar Bridesmaid, which was a takeoff on The Kid Stays in the Picture, which is
okay.
Bob Evans.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
I've seen some of that. That in itself is quite an adventure.
I mean, actually, if you really want to experience Kid Stays in the Picture, you listen to the audiobook. Because Evans does it, and
I'm sure that he does. I'm sure that he does.
But this was and just as always with Documentary Now, it is incredible how close they come to the documentary that they're mocking.
Right.
Like just the whole shooting style and even some of the shots are exactly the same. But you see it's all told in photographs with Bill Hader narrating.
Right. Sure.
And he plays this big shot Hollywood producer who starts out in the 60s, and it basically runs through his whole career in Hollywood as this this mogul
Super ego. Yeah.
who can't quite get it right.
That is kind of like the Bob Evans thing. Yeah. You know, he feels like he's so on top of it. Bob Evans. When you watch the Bob Evans documentary,
Yeah.
he's like, "Yeah, baby, this is just how it was done. You know, you come in there and you just take over, you have a martini, you make a movie, then you go home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I guess that's how it was done.
Yeah.
I don't,
And
like,
yet somehow even in all these tragedies, he ends up being the hero of the story.
yeah, exactly. You know, everybody was against me. You know,
But there are some quotable lines in this version, man.
Well,
This
that show's just great. You know what I mean?
My father died a week later. He was 35. It was his time.
He was 35. It was his time.
My favorite, it's kind of a non sequitur, but there's one point where Fred Armisen plays this big shot Italian comedian who Jerry Wallach is the character's name.
Okay.
Who Wallach pulls over to basically be like a Jerry Lewis stand-in.
Okay, fair enough. Right.
You know,
right.
kind
Okay,
of.
sure.
And we met in Paris. I called him El Guapo, and he called me racist. It was the beginning of a beautiful
That was
friendship.
the beginning of it.
I love him more than anyone else in the world,
Well,
including all my wives and my 4 children.
the thing is, what's funny about documentary now is just that sometimes the reference base is so obscure
Yes.
that you just have to take it as faith that they are nailing it.
Yeah.
Like, because I have seen some of the documentaries that they're mocking, so based on
Yeah.
that, I know that every other one of them
Yeah.
is a perfect mock based on a real doc.
My favorite is The Eye Doesn't Lie, which is a take on the Thin Blue Line. And just the whole idea, just Fred Armisen is so annoying, so grating,
Okay.
that you understand exactly why he's on death row. And it has nothing to do with the fact that he didn't kill somebody.
right. It's just everyone's leaving him there.
Yes.
Everyone's like, no one chooses to help him.
But this season, The Bunker, which is a takeoff on The War Room.
Right, that's what I meant to watch.
Yeah, well, what's funny is I watched the War Room afterwards, and you
You were
realize
saying that.
yeah,
You talked about that.
yeah, I talked. Yeah. There's that one scene where Hader's playing the Carville stand-in,
Okay.
and he has this long sleeve polo shirt,
Red Bull.
that's like yellow, purple, and green horizontal stripes, and it's the exact same one.
Yes, this is
Carville's
the exact same.
wearing. Yeah,
This is the exact same point you made last time.
yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine.
Habit.
It's fine. It's deja vu. I should have pretended like I had never heard it before.
That's why it sounds like you saw the episode.
Right. That's probably why I feel like I did. Maybe that's what that's about. Like I could picture this pretty easily, perhaps too easily. And then you got anything else? You got something else?
I think that's the big thing.
That's a big thing
stands
for
out
this week. The interesting adventure for me this week was watching a sci-fi show called Aftermath.
Oh.
So, well, before you come into the picture and my story, let me break it all down.
When you say sci-fi show, do you mean it's sci-fi as in it's science fiction, or do you mean sci-fi as it's on the Sci-Fi Channel?
Both, but more one than the other. Ooh. Hey, they're trying, man. They are trying. But this one
was Steve Guttenberg in this one?
No, I think it might have been Anne Heche. I'm not really sure. If it's not, it's like her stunt double.
Oh, okay.
But so
this is like Bill Shatner's stunt double, and
it is Anne Heche.
It is Anne Heche.
Yeah, I'm looking at
very
it.
good. Okay, because I was sitting there watching it like, I know she's wearing these sunglasses constantly, but I'm pretty sure that's Anne Heche. And by the way, if anybody who watches Preacher and it was like, oh, that whole thing with Cassidy wearing the sunglasses all the time, Anne Heche is rocking sunglasses, big ones, the entire 2 episodes I watched on this, okay? She takes them off once because she's indoors, all right? Every other moment of the show, she's behind these big, goofy fucking sunglasses. I think are the same fucking frame that Cassidy wears, but whatever. Sidetrack.
I still can't believe you watched the second episode.
So let's get back to it. So I was on Bleeding Cool, and they put up a clip from the show because it was just a cool clip. Even the guy writing the article said, I hadn't watched any of this show. I happened to watch this clip because I watch a bunch of clips for the site, blah, 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 blah. It's an interesting clip. So I watched it. And it was. Basically, this woman just comes on to like this wooded small area, and there's some bad scruffy dudes there, and she's like, "Where's my daughter?" And they're like, "We killed your daughter." And she's like, "Fuck you." She's got an AK out of nowhere. She just mows down like 5 guys, right? Turn around 1 second later, 4 more guys come out. She's like, "Where's my daughter?" And they're like, "We killed her." So she's like, mows down these 5 guys. Out of the woods comes the daughter.
Now it's an M60.
Basically. But out of the woods comes the daughter, like on beat. "Mom, what did you do?" And she's like, "Oh, there you are. Come on, let's go." And the kid is literally like, "What the fuck, Mom?" Like, you know what I mean? So it turns out Mom is like the kids don't know that she's insane, I guess, or just a badass. I'm sure they're going for badass over insane. But in the clip, I was reading it as, oh, Mom is unhinged or something on this show. So I got to check it out. So it turns out that it's like about the apocalypse has come. It's very much end of days, biblical kind of thing.
In about 12 different ways.
In literally 12 different ways. Like you got the
volcanoes.
You got the volcanoes,
the
the tremors. You got no locusts, no bugs yet. You got the sun flares. You got some kind
tsunamis.
There's a plague that's very zombie-like. They don't turn into zombies, but their eyes glow red and they get crazy violent. And then when you stab them to kill them, some kind of smoky demon thing comes rushing out of their body and flies off. So there's that.
Okay.
But the first episode is coming at it for, like, I found it to be, because I was watching it on demand, so I didn't have any commercial breaks to take me out of it. It was moving at a clip. And I was like, okay, episode 2 is not going to follow this same speed. And then it did. Episode 2 was still... Something happens. No one gets time to really sit there and like do these overlong moments of relationship and character building.
Yeah.
Which sometimes are a plus, sometimes are a minus because some shows don't do character building well. So I was kind of happy that this show wasn't trying to do that.
Yeah.
Because I felt like they were barely pulling off anything. So if they were gonna all of a sudden want me to get to know Sandy better or whoever the daughter was, it wasn't gonna happen.
As long as like bullet shells were flying everywhere, it was okay.
Something crazy was going on. I was good. My attention was there. So then I'm like 3/4 of the way through the second episode, and Ed calls me up out of nowhere, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh no, I'm watching this Aftermath." And do you remember what you said to me? Literally,
Like, you're still watching?
You're still watching it? I got through about a half an hour of that, and I turned it right off.
About 40 minutes, yeah.
And I didn't even think it was on your radar at all because you had never mentioned it at all. So I was about to, and I was enjoying it. So I was about to be like, oh, it's kind of interesting. You should check it out just for the craziness of it alone. And you were like, nah, man, I'm not fucking feeling it. I'm not. It's too Sci-Fi Channel-ish.
Well, you know what is it felt like they were trying to do everything.
Yeah,
and it's
they literally are. They really are.
To me, I wanted them to pick a lane.
You know what they did too right away in the first episode? You know how like these shows where there's a group of characters and they have to go anywhere basically? And they split them up.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, Jimmy gets separated from the pack, and like now he's all the way. We got to go find Jimmy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They do it with Walking Dead. They do it with Lost. It's a trope.
Right.
So they did it with the daughter.
And Sally's going to hide behind the chainsaws.
Right, exactly, like the commercial. So they did it right away. They got this one out of the way in episode 1. They separated away. They got separated from the older daughter.
Yeah.
So in episode 2, they're still trying, and even in the preview for episode 3, they're still trying to link up. So, in case you're not sold on this yet, I will tell you that episode 2 literally ends with some flying fucking thing at night comes.
You did that well, Bill.
You like that? So it comes down and scoops up something. I don't remember if it was a person or not.
Yeah.
That's how lost I was in interest. I don't remember if it scooped up a person or a cow.
Yeah.
But it scooped somebody up, and then in the preview, that daughter who was separated from the family was going to end up running into some bad Amish people. So I'm getting a feeling that maybe I do want to watch it now just to see.
It's the kind of thing like I think if you watch this in 2-minute bites, like those scenes all are really cool.
Yeah.
But to me, when you put them all together,
It just makes this mud.
yeah. The story is not coherent.
it's
I don't give a
feeling-
shit about these people.
Well, I'll tell you, I got attached to none of them except the mom. She's the only one I want to know more about because she's kind of like this half-ass badass. You know what I mean? She used to be Air Force.
And they cast someone who can act.
Yeah, which is the best part about it, that somebody actually can read a line of dialogue on that show.
Or they even wrote a line of dialogue.
Yeah, not that she's got some great deep lines. She's basically Bruce Willis, with
Just yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. And
basically just badassing it all the way. They basically took the script and switched the dude with
the gender?
the husband and the wife. They switched the typical roles where the guy is kind of like the
stay-at-home mom.
He's very much the quiet. Oh, this is all going to be all right. It's going to work out. We're going to fix this kind of thing, but not being the active one. She's the one who jumps in the car and says, "I'm going to get her," and this kind of.
See, there they missed a good opportunity to make like if they would have made the dad more like the dad on Phineas and Ferb.
Okay, fill me in. Though.
Well, he's kind of like clueless as to what's going on.
Yeah,
it all goes around him. And he's like,
Right.
"Oh, hey guys, what's going on? Hey,
Right,
what's up?"
right, sure, sure.
He walks in right after something happens, or right before as he leaves,
Right,
and he can't hear a damn thing,
Yeah, it all goes over his head, or it's all.
Because if they would have played him like that,
Yeah. That would have been.
Put
funny.
Put a little levity into the,
Well, that's another thing that the show. That's the only thing that the show is missing. In that big old soup is somebody to crack a joke once in a while because it's trying to be ultra serious.
The mayhem, maybe it would help.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the kids kind of react to the ridiculousness of like what the fuck is going on. Like kids probably would,
right.
But there's nobody like even having a one-off. Nothing that's supposed to be jokey lands as jokey. I'll say that.
Okay.
But hey, if you're looking for something that's just batshit crazy, there's that. There's that you can consume.
Right. If you want batshit crazy on your radar, there you go.
There you go. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we really don't have anything else for the meanwhile. Is there anything going on in the chat room, Ed? Are you paying attention to the chat room, to the kids in the chat?
Everyone's saying hi to each other.
Oh, I will say hi to all of them at once. Hi, everybody.
Don and Quadcast Courtney are chatting about audiobooks.
And you know what? Let me just get this out of the way right now. I just had a thought. I just want to say happy birthday to everybody now, today. Now you're covered. Every one of you who's ever going to hear this is covered.
Here we go.
Everyone
for the rest of the
potentially on planet Earth then is covered.
Yeah.
I second the motion.
You know what I will say? Happy birthday for life. Mm-hmm. So it's not just this 1 year. There's only a couple months left. It's just forever.
You've done happy birthday, so how about another one to help blanket us for the rest of the year?
Yeah.
Happy holidays. Whatever the holiday is.
Yeah, there you go.
Any holiday.
Yeah. Hey, enjoy your
Don't
thing.
matter.
Enjoy your thing.
If it's the 4th of July, Christmas,
yeah.
Festivus, whatever it is.
Whatever it is, tax season, whatever gets you going.
Yeah.
Whatever is happy times in your house.
Happy holiday.
Enjoy. The best to you and yours.
And if your birthday's a holiday, you celebrate twice. Happy birthday, happy holiday.
There you go.
Salud.
Salud, like Uncle Vito likes to say. We might have to get Uncle Vito back. I just want to say, I think Uncle Vito, we might have to see Uncle.
Oh,
my
okay.
Uncle Vito might have to
Give
make a
him
phone call.
Is he still working where he's working?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I haven't heard from him since Podtoberfest, since he called in. He doesn't answer my calls anymore. I think he might be like really offended. But, whatever. The guy's just going to have to deal with it. I mean, but if I can get him on the phone, maybe I can get him on the show.
No, he's a very busy guy.
He is. He's got a lot of things going on. He's got a lot of. I mean, most of them are shady. As we like to say here in New York, shady as fuck.
Yes.
That's a new term that everybody seems to be throwing around, the kids. So yeah, maybe we'll see if we can. Maybe you know what? I bet you he doesn't even know how to use the phone. Probably he's old school. I bet you I got to send him like a mail, like an actual letter, like written on paper or something. He might think it's a subpoena. He may not open it up.
That's true.
He's seen a lot of those. So Ed, where are we at? Are we up to the newsy portion of this show?
I think it's time for some news.
We are. A special segment coming up later on, kids. Prepare yourselves and get ready, okay? Because it's gonna get creepy. But in the meantime, news o'clock. What is that? Is that about me, or is that the upcoming item you're about to read? Where's the sigh line?
So, you know how Brian Fuller was going to be the showrunner on Star Trek Discovery?
He was the great white hope of Star Trek. I said was. Did I ruin it? Did I spoiled the...
Yeah, so he is stepping back.
Brian Fuller, creator of Pushing Daisies.
Not a good sign.
Hannibal,
I think Psycho. Was he involved in Psycho?
Sign.
No, American Horror Story?
No, he's right now he's
Dukes of Hazzard?
he's also doing American Gods.
Something good.
Right, something good.
Yeah,
something that will last. But he is quite the visionary kind of showrunner. So what's the bit? He's stepping aside?
Yeah, he is stepping aside, and Gretchen J. Berg and Aaron Herberts are
taking over the showrunner slots.
Yes. Brian Fuller will stay on as an executive producer.
He's written a couple, I think the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
Directed the first episode.
But he's, and I think the real thing that, is this show's been pushed back. They said it was going to be in January. Now it's going to be in May. It's got this whole thing where it's behind a paywall. It's not going to be airing on TV. It's like CBS's. It
was probably the best thing going for it. In a sense, I mean, don't get me wrong. The best thing now is that the fact that he was ever involved and they're following his series Bible in a sense.
Yeah, it's also just the weird.
It sounds like it's going to end up premiering on CBS's new HDB channel, which is
it's their pay site.
Yeah, their bullshit channel.
Yes.
Yeah,
hope streams and bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
But it's the thing that kind of bothers me is it's coming up soon. And all we've seen is one effect shot, which is okay, and no casting announcements. We don't know anything about this show, and it's starting to. I mean, these announcements are starting to get me worried.
It's starting to sound like there's just not going to be anything. They're just making it all up as they go.
They might just be making it up.
Maybe they're not even doing a show. Yeah, we're doing a show.
Sure,
don't worry, guys.
Sure.
We're doing a show.
Sure, we need something to flop because of all this money we need to have.
Well, it's also like I would rather them wait to announce something until they know what they're doing.
Is this a CBS, right?
Yes.
They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
Some of the Redstone is being suing like two of his ex-girlfriends for like $100 million each.
Well, Bob,
in his old age, he still runs CBS. He's 93 freaking years old.
In his defense, those women continued to age, and they weren't supposed to. Okay,
they're in their 40s now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You got a 93-year-old man in charge of your network.
You know what?
And he's still making decisions.
You know what's funny is that we're going to be lucky to get anything good out of them with Star Trek anyway. In a sense,
I want Star Trek.
It's almost like a thing where I don't care what they give me. Just give me something.
It's been off the air for more than a decade.
Yeah,
and it's like Star Trek is meant to be a TV show. I mean, the movies are nice and all.
Yeah, absolutely. But I agree with you. Like it's meant to be episodic and more contemplative than a 2-hour movie can be. It's just. I agree with you completely. Yeah. It's meant to be that kind of a property and franchise.
Yeah. But there is some good news with Star Trek in our next story, which is that IDW and Dark Horse have announced they're doing a crossover event where Star Trek The Next Generation is meeting aliens.
But they always run into aliens. Why is this?
No, xenomorphs.
Oh, you mean
like the ones that were on Bill's Twitter page this morning?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, the caption contest. Which thanks for playing along to anybody who saw that.
Was it? Did anybody else besides me play along?
Chad Rose, Chad NV. He had a couple of funny ones. I retweeted the ones I thought were the standouts. So I retweeted a couple from you, and I think a couple from him.
Yeah.
It was just the two of you, really.
Yeah.
But if anybody wants to go to my Twitter page and look at it and caption it, I'd be more than happy to retweet your captions if they're funny. Go to Wicked Theory.
Check it out.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But anyway, so the Xenomorphs. They're gonna,
Captain Picard and crew are gonna have to go up against a bunch of Xenomorphs.
Is Data gonna get?
Oh, that would be interesting.
Get one of them implanted in his stomach, and then he'll raise it like the cat. What was the name of his cat? His name?
Spot.
But Captain, it's making me more human.
If I raise it to its full rightful age, I will release it onto a mining colony ship.
Remember, Captain, Laura died. My daughter.
That's true. You know, that's probably the issue. It's funny. Like, would have been great if that's why they gave him the cat. It was like, well, Data, we know that the whole thing with your daughter robot thing didn't work out, so here's a cat. It's like a kid, like, the goldfish dies, we just get him another fish.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here's what I was saying earlier about these things is that like these have kind of like run into the ground for me, like these crossovers now, these inter-property crossover comics.
You don't like Star Trek meets Legion of Superheroes, or
that's the stuff,
or Tarzan on the Planet of the Apes.
At least, well, here's the thing. I would say at least with Aliens, it feels like there's some kind of inherent logic there. Even when I was saying the big stretch for me, although I kind of bought it as a setup, was X-Men meets Star Trek.
That was a long time ago.
It was. But the idea on that was that, the fact that Khan was supposed to be a quote-unquote mutant, and the X-Men were mutants. So this story kind of found a way to tie things together in its own little pocket universe story kind of thing. You know what I mean? Right. So it was a cool little way to find an in. If it's just literally like the one that's out right now, Judge Dredd versus Predator versus Alien, I know how it's going to go. I think over those 6 issues, I know how it's going to go, and I'm all right. I'll skip it.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be an issue where both sides end up walking away.
Well, it's either that.
Because no one's going to die.
Well, they'll die. You can kill the aliens. That's it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you can only kill the aliens. Judge Dredd is a singular character in the property, whereas the other two are just faceless. It's not like it's Larry the Xenomorph.
Yeah.
Or Pete the Predator.
Well, it's also kind of weird. It's going to be interesting to see, because especially the next generation, they're peacekeeping explorers who try to make first contact with other species, and they're open and inviting, and to see to go up against a race that is nothing but destruction and violence.
It's basically just a hissing
They've already
cat.
dealt with that with the Klingons, though, pretty much.
Yeah, but these don't even
And
talk.
the Romulans.
Yeah.
So.
But these don't even like. I don't want it to be the computer figuring out how to communicate. For
So
them.
you call up Disney, you get Star Wars involved.
No, that's not.
You shove a Jedi. You have a Jedi shove a lightsaber up his ass.
All right.
Now,
Done.
Exactly.
So comic book news.
Oh, we have some. I thought that was some.
Yeah, no. So a little. There's another thing. So there's a new.
Why did this? How did this pop up in here?
What's that?
This piece of news.
Well, so there's a new Justice League of America book coming out.
Yeah.
They finally announced the team that's going to be coming on. So Lobo.
Oh, that's why you put this in here.
The Justice
You put
League
this
of
in
America.
here.
Yes.
Like under the radar, under the wire too. Continue.
So the lineup is Batman, Black Canary, the Ray, Vixen, Killer Frost, the Ryan Choi Atom, and Lobo.
Yeah.
I think he's going to play nice with all those other wholesome superheroes.
Well, the whole team sounded like it needed a fucking personality. So we'll have one guy that has one.
There we go.
There you
Well,
go.
he's the Wolverine.
Well, that's what I mean. He's the.
I'm like,
yeah.
okay, you got your ice maker,
Right.
You got,
Yeah, basically,
so
right.
it's
You got
basically
all
like-
the elements of a typical team set up.
It's like, okay, so this is X-Men.
Yeah, it's either like you have the brawler or the complete.
Sorry, Ed, but it seems like a lot like X-Men.
Well, it's the typical kind of lineup in a way where you have the really high superpower energy-based guy. You have the brawler, loose cannon type who sometimes is just the biggest physical guy, but you get both with Lobo. You got probably 2.5 females.
Right.
There's a science. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what's interesting is that it's the new lineup, but what's otherwise interesting about this that's I don't know if you were going to point out is that DC has now this is Justice League America or this is
Justice League of America.
Okay, and Justice League is changing its lineup too,
Yes.
isn't it? to.
I haven't read that.
Okay,
No.
I thought there was a lineup on some team that was going to change, and it was going to start to reflect their media properties a little bit more.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what the current Justice League has.
Yeah, but I felt like it was going to be like Vixen.
No, Vixen's in
this.
Justice League of America.
Okay, so maybe that's what I'm mixing
Yeah.
up. Is that this outside of Lobo and
Vixen
Ray?
and
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Yeah,
because this
yeah,
has got
but-
Ant-Man.
Adam.
Adam.
Jesus Christ.
It's got Captain Shrinky Dink, right? And the guy with the little powers,
And Black Canary.
and Lady Bird, right? Lady Bird. Is that what, that's what I'll call her.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Where's Wasp?
Where's Wasp? DC's Black Canary is like DC's Black Widow, right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to watch the color run out of your face.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe.
All right. Enough picking on DC. All right. In movie stuff,
Yep.
we've got
So we
I
announced.
was going to say, just know that we do it because we can.
Okay.
not because we love you or hate you, just because we
because
can.
we can.
Because we can. We see an opening.
Yes.
When you grow up in a house full of
In
boys,
20 years, when the table is turned, you'll have your revenge.
we grew up in a house full of boys, so everything was about if there's an opening, you seize it. Like if there is food, you eat it when you see it because it will be gone. If you see it,
we learned that well in our house growing
if
up.
you see an opening for a cheap shot to the ribs, or like while someone's yawning, like any kind of openness and exposed kind of position, like you seize that.
I grew up in an Irish Catholic family.
Okay, so you know all about it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. Last week we mentioned that Tim Miller stepped away from Deadpool 2. And
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, so now it's we've kind of discovered the reasons why.
Okay.
The Wrap has been putting forth stories that basically say that Ryan Reynolds wanted to keep it to a low key, $58 million budget, similar
Sure.
to the first one, and Tim Miller wanted a grand spectacle. He wanted to go for broke.
He wanted to go big
yeah,
now.
and his movie would have cost like 3 times more.
Yeah. Well, don't get me wrong. I think there's nothing wrong with you. All right there, buddy? You're getting sick, huh?
I'm getting over it, but it's just...
No. Boy, oh boy, juicy. Ooh. But yeah, I think there might be some happy medium because I can understand wanting to go a little bigger because it's the sequel. You know, I think we can do more now. We have a better budget. But I get Ryan's point too. It's like what worked, and if we keep ourselves confined to that, we won't.
We're guaranteed to make a profit.
We're guaranteed to make a profit, but I feel like creatively, it's like saying sometimes things, like when we blow them up the next time around, they can get out of hand. They can get away from you because
Yeah.
this is not.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
There's that.
This
too.
isn't about a storyline. This is about showcasing this character.
Right.
And that's people aren't going this for intrigue and
Giant
and
spectacle
narrative.
in general.
They're out to hang out with
Yeah, they want the jokes, they want the quips, they want the silly story, they want some. It'd be nice to see some more elaborate set pieces in it. Don't get me wrong, but they don't have to be giant super summer blockbusters to achieve that. I think if anything we learned from that movie, you can have an old school just one end scene type set piece, and if you've got a good story, you get through it. You know what I mean? You don't it doesn't have to be a thing where every 20 minutes, like the biggest building in that city is being destroyed, where some of these movies feel like. If you watch a Transformers movie, every 20 minutes, the entire city is dying.
There's action from go.
Yeah, and it's not small anymore. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I get it. But, the very thing that we talked about last week still holds, I think, is just that, like, these two are still buddy-buddy. They'll be working on other stuff together. They've already got some other thing in the pipeline. And some of the other buzz this week about Deadpool 2 is now they're banding about which directors might be lining up for it.
Yeah.
There was some talk about Lynn, and there was some talk about the guy who did the John Wick stuff.
Oh, okay.
So there's a couple of names being. Now I don't know how much of that's
David Leaked or Light.
possibly.
Leitch.
Yes. And with that, I don't know how much of it is like just dream casting a director, but those are good names. There was some good names bandied about. So it got to a point where one of the sites I followed basically just put up an article that said, yes, everyone, including your father, is up for the director role on Deadpool. Because like the 3 articles came out the same day. But all right. So what's the next thing we got in here, bud?
All right, so Stan Lee, he does cameos in every Marvel property.
Yeah.
So evidently, this week he shot his next 4 cameos all in one day.
Well, what happened was that this week it came out that it was official. It was rumored to have happened, like not that long ago. It was a thing that no one confirmed. But then this week, the director on Doctor Strange confirmed that what's his name?
James Gunn.
James Gunn.
Yeah, while doing Guardians of the Galaxy, just shot all 4 of Stan Lee's cameos.
Yeah, so I guess it was like, make him an ice cream scooper.
Yeah.
All right, now he's over here, he's a paper boy. Put him over here, he's in Glee Club. You know where I'm going? See the pattern?
So I guess we figure these are the movies we know we're making. Let's shoot them while we got them.
I guess. I mean, I guess basically what you can do is if you
He's
figure
old
out.
after all. You got to think like that too. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the thing.
Well, see, that's the other thing. If he, and this is kind of morbid, but if something, he's over 90. If he happens to pass
what do you
away,
mean?
if he passes away within the next few months,
That's just fucked up.
Before all 4 movies have come out, do they still use all 4 cameos?
Yes.
You think so?
I bet you that's exactly why they're in the pocket.
What happened with Fast and Furious 7? They still put it out. Paul Walker was dead.
Yep.
Well, I mean that's a little different. Paul Walker's
I have a distinct feeling that this is exactly why these were made, or at the very least, his health. Eventually, in the next 10 years, could be an issue on its own without necessarily passing away.
Days like this can be taxing on an older person.
That's the other thing.
So you
And
might as well do them all at once.
And scheduling and getting it to happen. Sometimes it's I wonder if like it's a thing where we never got Stan in for this thing, so we're gonna have to do it during the reshoot phase in the last leg of the project. So let's make sure we can get him then. I guess I could see it being a scheduling thing. Stan's always out doing crazy shit and making deals that never go anywhere with other companies. So every week it's some lame superhero.
He's always out. Yeah, he's always out in the town. You see him everywhere.
Sandwich Man. That's it. Sandwich Man. He's a hero. Who's a hero? And pastrami boy. It's like, Stan, it's just lunch. When I invited you to lunch, I just wanted to have lunch. It wasn't a pitch meeting. All right. What about Captain Avocado? No, I said I'm leaving, Stan. You can pay the bill, I think you can afford it. Next one.
All right. So, reboot report.
Yes.
I got 3 of them.
Because you can never have enough reboots.
No, you can't.
Well, if they're good.
No, you can't.
No, you can't. That's all Hollywood knows how to make.
Yes.
Yes.
So, yeah. Anyone up for another Knight Rider?
Yes. Oh. Is it going to be the continuation of Knight Rider 2020?
No.
I didn't get the bad taste of that one out of my mouth yet.
So Justin Lin, the Fast and the Furious movies and Star Trek Beyond,
yes,
is working with Machinima to develop a digital series reboot.
Okay.
This is going to be an online-only show.
Which is good. Well, what's interesting is that Machinima has come so far as just a YouTube content provider that now they are like making stuff.
Yeah.
Like you can still see that it's not the highest quality, but I think this production is what's going to put it over the top, I think.
Yeah. But I think they bring William Daniels back from the dead to voice that car. That's the only way this works.
I mean, I don't know how you get him back from the dead. I'm sure it's Hollywood. They know how to do these things. There's some kind of spell, ritual.
They have his voice everywhere.
Well, that's that too. I mean, you can even pull fucking St. Elsewhere episodes out if you really wanted to dig deep and find it.
All you got to do is pay whoever's got the rights to certain shows, and you just pull them.
Yeah.
Put it together. That's it.
He was also Mr. Feeney on
Boy
Meets World.
That's true.
Right.
He could be giving a heart-to-heart
St.
talk
Elsewhere.
to the driver about sex ed.
There you go.
About birds and the bees, or who knows. About really tough decisions, Michael.
I think he actually made a cameo on the newer one, too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Girl Meets World.
Yeah. The remake, the relaunch one.
He was on that a couple of times. So
but he is dead, though?
I don't know.
I don't know that he's dead because
I'm
Girl Meets World is still on.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's necessarily a full-on partner in that, but I agree with you.
I apologize. I apologize.
You lie!
Wow.
See, folks, we start.
I don't know why I
rumors
thought that.
and then we debunk them as well.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
This
It's all right.
Stop the anyone who's already put that on Twitter. Please take it off.
Please,
You
scoop,
did not
scoop
hear.
hounds.
I misspoke.
Tell all the scoop hounds who listen to this show.
Yeah. By the way,
Yes, it is true. He is like Stanley. He will never die.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But by the way, you really want to see William Daniels' work? It's at John Adams in 1776.
Okay, that's the pinnacle. That's
Yes.
the high. That's the high mark.
Yes.
Mark right there. I believe you. It sounds like a thing.
Is anybody there?
So,
All right. So next reboot.
well, here's the thing. There's no other real information about Knight Rider right now.
No.
We don't know what kind of car, or even if it is a car, maybe it's a Segway or a
They
pair of
can't
skis.
use the new Trans Am because there is no new Trans Am.
And that's fine. I mean, they've been deviating since that show. Every other version has not used a Trans Am.
Right.
Like, you know.
Well, they can't use the Camaro because the Transformers are using the Camaro.
Well, there's that too. You know, there's no Camaro. Previously they did
they
some
gotta use
Dodge
Corvette.
stuff, I think.
They got to either go with Viper or Corvette.
You know, or but that's not true. I mean, there's got to be other muscle cars out there right now.
Well, yeah, you could use the Charger, the Challenger.
Yeah, and there's even that other car that the Rally. I don't know if you've seen this, the Rally X something where it's crowdsourced kind of a thing.
Okay.
Oh, bro, it looks like a nice.
Oh, they got the Ford GT.
Nah, there you go.
Oh,
There you
There you
go.
go. It's
There you
basically
go.
a
There's
race car.
something.
A race car with headlights and taillights, basically.
I'm thinking maybe like a Mongoose scooter. I don't know. That's just me. That can turbo.
Maybe we go back. We go a little retro and we go BMX bike.
How about tandem? A nice tandem
There
bike.
you go.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Pedaling. All right. What else?
All right. So you know how Disney's remaking
No.
everything?
No.
Never heard of such business.
Yeah. So they're doing another Oliver Twist, which isn't really a property that they've had. I mean, you had the Oliver and Company
Right.
in the 80s, but
And what was the twist? He was dead at the end the whole time?
no. Oliver
Okay.
and Company, he was a dog.
Ah, Oliver was a dog?
Yes.
That was the twist. At
Yeah.
the end, you find out the whole time he
Yeah,
was a dog.
yeah. Instead of-
Oliver, I thought Oliver was a Brady.
Oliver was. Yes, that's right. Bob, like the little blonde-haired kid, bowl haircut,
Yes.
glasses.
It's like save the Bradys from
It was a cousin Oliver?
Yeah, cousin
Going off
Oliver.
the
And it
air.
was always
Yeah.
like, Oliver! Because he was the jerk off.
Yeah.
He was the kid that his
No.
parents didn't want him because he was so shitty. And
Bobby
then he-
grew up, so they needed somebody else to get in trouble.
Well, that's how it
No,
always
no,
goes.
no. Oliver and Company, instead of Oliver Twist being about orphans in Victorian London,
Right.
Oliver and Company was about puppies in
Victorian London.
1980s Manhattan.
Aw! Adorbs!
Yeah.
Just so adorbs.
So now they're doing it again, and this
Yeah.
time Ice Cube is going to star as Fagin.
Motherfucker, what?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's going
It's
to
going
be
to be taking place in Compton.
Well, these days he's Nice Cube. You know, it's a little bit down. He's
Well,
downplayed.
these days, he's nice paycheck cube.
Well, that's it too. You know, but anything meaty to this info?
Yeah,
like, what's going
I'm
on?
just kind of wondering why we're even discussing it here.
Well, it sounds crazy as just even a headline, but I'm wondering if there is a little more meat to the bones of the story.
Yeah,
Maybe
well,
there's a
I
setup
mean, it's
related-
really just they're announcing it that it's going
contemporary,
to be
I guess, modern day.
Yeah, it's a modern musical
Oh.
with sources describing it as crossing many genres, including hip hop.
Oh, this is the Hamilton effect. Is this
Well,
the star of
this
the
is
Hamilton effect?
directed by Tommy Kail, who directed Hamilton.
Okay.
Okay.
So, well, at least
All
it's
right.
got some pedigree behind it, I guess. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's going to be a lot of that. That's going to be
This
flops.
I don't think is going to last simply because
And what is the?
it's an also ran.
Well, that's what it's. Is this a movie, TV show? What's
Movie.
the movie? Okay, very good. Thank God. Maybe just hopefully just one and done. I don't need the sequels.
Hopefully, it won't even release in the United States.
Yeah. Now this isn't even an announcement. This is kind of like a scoop speculation. But Hollywood Reporter is saying that New Image and Millennium Films are getting together a new Rambo movie,
Yeah.
and it will not star Sylvester Stallone.
Oh my God.
They're going to get Dolph Lundgren.
We'll get some.
Dust him off.
We'll get some other overaged marble mouth.
Well,
be the
no.
actor direction.
They're trying to. They want Rambo to be like James Bond.
Where it's like a franchise we can just put anybody into
Yeah.
at a certain point where it'll just feel like a natural
So he'll be like a
translation.
James Bond with machine guns?
Well, I don't know how much. Well, that's the thing. We don't know really how much they mean it. Like
Yeah.
the idea of we can
Yeah,
put
yeah.
any actor into the slot, or that he will be some kind of on assignment type guy. You know what I mean? So, or if it's going to be a combination thereof.
No, I think it's
wanna-
more they want it to be a timeless character that any actor can step into that role.
Because that's what we need. We need just an endless sea of Rambo insanity.
movies.
You know?
They've already been, 4 of those movies, right? 5?
Oh, but
Maybe.
By the way,
This is
Bill,
8.
I have a request from Prof. Politico.
Yeah, sure.
He wants you to never ever use the word adorbs again.
Oh, well, did he not? He didn't adorbs?
No, he did not.
Well, I adorb it. I adorb it greatly.
He could not absorb adorbs.
I adorb it all the live long day. I'm adorbing it right now. Look under the table. I dare you, Ed.
No.
Look how much I'm adorbing it.
No.
It fits right in.
You know. I thought we had a moment last night.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
Your adorbs is knocking on the bottom of the table.
There you go.
We're making a go of it.
Give it a go. Give it a go. Just a tip. All right.
So now I think we have to try and say adorbs as often as possible.
This episode sponsored by Adorbs, the Smile Maker. All right. So
And we got 2 other stories.
are they about cute and fuzzy kittens? Because those are Adorbs.
Well, close.
Yeah.
Stephen King is writing a children's book
That's going to
gonna
be
be
that's
Adorbs.
Adorbs.
Set-
Adorbs.
set in the Dark Tower universe.
Yes. Charlie the Choo Choo. Right? Yeah, Charlie the Choo Choo. What's funny is that this was kind of already announced, but I think now it's shipping is probably the thing. Is now it's getting into stores.
Dickory dock. Charlie the Choo-Choo killed your mother and stuffed your
What's-
father in a closet.
What's funny is he's wrote this under a pseudonym, Beryl Evans.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he only did that so that he could be the quote on the front
Well,
cover.
that's the best part about it.
It says, "If I were to ever write a children's book, it would be just like this." Stephen King.
There you go. Winky wink, nudge nudge. So yeah, it's like because there's a train in the Dark Tower, so it's like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't directly tie to Blaine the train in the Dark Tower books, but it's it's all very much there's mentions and there's references scattered throughout. And if you go online and download the Sombra app, which is part of the movie tie-in,
Right.
some of the images when you put the app, it's like a camera-based app, so it works in real-world stuff. So anything that's a chosen image from the movies or any of the promotional items will do stuff on the tablet. So actually, the cover of Entertainment Weekly a few months back sprouted this big, crazy-looking rose. And it's a cool picture. I took it. I'll show you guys later. But it's like right in the middle of this table. And the magazine is just sitting there, and it looks not exactly. You could tell it's a 3D image, you know what I mean? But it looks pretty good. Like the shading and the lighting and all that was pretty good.
That's cool.
And it looks like it's sprouting right up out of the magazine and shit. So this is one of those books, though. So if you have the Sombra, Sombra app, it ties into some of the images from this book. Will activate certain things on that app.
Right.
As you can tell, I'm following
Bring
the
the
Dark
thing to
Tower
life.
stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
And this is really hit me hard.
Now this is some highfalutin shit.
Yeah. So the new Oxford Shakespeare
Yeah.
have announced that their new edition, they are going to co-credit Christopher Marlowe on as a co-writer on 3 of Shakespeare's plays.
They've dug up some
Proof?
forensic research
Well,
based evidence
they've-
where it's like well, go ahead.
Yeah, they're actually able to analyze and using the grammar and dialogue that Shakespeare had help from Marlowe because
Right.
the writing styles kind of fit.
And it was always one of these things that was assumed and
Yeah.
kind of like whispered about.
Yeah,
that
and
there's
there's-
certain
there was
passages,
always some mention.
and they scientifically have gone through it all, fed it through a computer, and
Yeah.
gotten so much distinctive hits.
Yeah,
that-
and there's certain things like Tinus Andronicus and other plays but the 3 that they're giving him are the 3 Henry VI plays, parts 1, 2, and 3. And I think it's very convenient because a lot of people think those as not so good Shakespeare plays.
I thought that was all of it.
Well, maybe this is their way of not offending anybody.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Trying not to. It's like, all right, look, we know we're going to give them some credit.
Yeah.
We're not going to upset the universe here.
Yeah.
At this point, it's
So,
like, how do you
so
not?
we'll give them the 3 that are, like, not the good ones.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Well, does it? I'm kind of partial to Henry IV myself. Parts 1 and 2. You got some Falstaff in there. Henry V is great. Henry VI, not so much. You don't really see people putting on revivals of Henry VI.
I think he's Adorbs. I think people should check him out more often.
I mean, they're really bloody. They're action movies. That's what they are.
Basically.
Yeah. It's the War of
For
the
those days.
It's the War of the Roses. So it's just
the
War
just-
of
the Roses.
yeah, it just murders everywhere.
That's what the War of the Roses was missing.
Yeah.
More murder.
Yeah, so basically, like,
more destruction.
if Shakespeare was Bruckheimer, Marlowe was his Michael Bay. That was,
Oh.
or his Roland Emmerich, I don't know.
Well, having fun, I guess.
As long as he's not Zack Snyder.
Yeah. Are we really talking about Shakespeare?
So that's it for
Yeah.
the news.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Well, I think actually...
It's been very highfalutin news
I
today.
think some talk about classical literature is a nice segue into our big moment.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's a nice way to kind of segue over to the setup. I'm just kind of checking out the chat here, seeing if there's anything we want to go to before we move on to the next phase. See if there's anybody. Oh, hey. No, this stuff. Donald says that the universe is going to expire in 2 days and 22 hours. So,
Woohoo!
And that's that. So that's a notification on the end of the world from him.
Okay.
Mark your calendars, I guess, and strap in.
Cool beans.
So we're going to try something this week. It's going to be a little different. We're going to do a reading of The Raven.
A dramatic reading.
A dramatic reading of The Raven. Or maybe not so dramatic. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. People should just wait and see.
It's a poem by Edgar Allan Poe.
It is.
Yes.
Indeed it is.
Yes, and even though you're going to hear it, I think afterwards everyone should read it.
Is that like a
Are
homework
you
assignment?
giving our listeners homework? You kidding?
No, I'm just
You're going to alienate everybody.
I think, after they hear it, they should just go and read it and see if we changed anything, maybe?
Well, no. Just to kind of compare and contrast, to kind of understand, to grasp the true meaning of the poem.
Right. Our performance might change things.
Well, it's an interpretation.
Fair
That's
enough.
what this is all about.
That is what this is all about. So, just give us, I don't know, like 30 seconds to set up here real quick. And you guys can listen to this while Bob's going to switch guitars. And it's going to be just a little bit of noise, so hang out. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Read by Bill Sweeney. Musical accompaniment by Robert Sweeney. The Raven by Edward O'Hare. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping. As of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. 'Tis some visitor, I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. Distinctly I remember it was in bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I tried to borrow from my books a crease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore. For the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. So that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, 'Tis some visitor, entreating, entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor, entrance at my chamber door. 'Tis this, and nothing more. Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. Sir, said I, or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there and nothing more. Deep into the darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming, no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the darkness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, Lenore. This I whispered, and an echo murmured back to the world, Lenore. Merely this and nothing more. Then unto the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon I heard again a tapping somewhat louder than before. Surely, said I, surely that is something at the window lattice. Let me see then what the threat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more. Open here the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obseisance made he, not an instant stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. This ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. Though my crest be shorn and shaven though, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore, quoth the raven.
Hey, how's it going?
Much I marvel this ungainly fellow. Much I marvel this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answering little meaning, little relevancy. Though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no sublunary being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculpted bust above the chamber door, with such a name as...
Freddy.
But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour, nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather that he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me as my hopes have flown before, quoth the raven.
You okay, bud? You look kind of queasy.
Wondering at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, said I, what it utters, it is only stock and store caught from some unhappy master, whom unmercifully disaster followed fast and followed faster so, when hope he would adjure, stern despair returned, instead of a sweet hope he dared adjure. That said answer?
You want some Tylenol?
But the raven still beguiling all my sad soul into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of the bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking.
How about some Dimmetap?
This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated over, but whose velvet violet lining of the lamplight gloating over she shall press, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by angels whose faint footfalls tinkled on the tuft floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he has sent thee. Respite, nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Let me quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore, quoth the raven.
Flintstones chewables?
Prophet, I said, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempest sent or whether tempest tossed, thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on his home by horror haunted. Tell me truly, I implore, is there Is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven.
Maybe you just need a nap.
Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil. By that heaven that bends above us, by the God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within a distant Aden it shall clasp a sainted maiden from the angel's name, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, who the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven.
I hear Match.com is great these days.
Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked on starting. Get thee back into tempest and into the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit thy bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven.
Dude, I already paid Airbnb, and they don't give refunds, so I think I'm going to be here a while.
And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight over him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. This has been Wicked Theory Theater. This was a reading from The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. I'm Bill Sweeney. Robert Sweeney on instrumental accompaniment, and featuring Edward O'Hare as the Raven. I know somebody out there somewhere is clapping.
Oh, Sammy,
somebody's digging it.
Yep.
Woo, really didn't know how that was going to go.
That was fun.
That was fun, right? Mm-hmm. I mean,
it kind of worked. I mean, we only planned it like a couple hours.
I came home with it from work.
I think it was educational.
I think somebody learned something. I don't know what it was, but if they want to write down what they learned in the chat, that's fine. Maybe we'll go over those.
I think Beatniks would be proud.
I think
No, Palmer, we're not doing an encore.
Encore. Well, let's see what else is in this big old book of Edgar Allan Poe that weighs about 10 pounds.
That is coming from the one guy that we know that looks like a beatnik.
Well, that's true. If anybody's been beaten nicks, it's him.
Smokes beaties.
But you know what's funny is that I've had this book probably since 1997. That sounds about right. It's the first time I've read more than 12 words out of it.
Oh, really?
This is the unabridged Edgar Allan Poe.
I have a newer copy of that at my house, and I've read all the poetry, and then I started reading the play he wrote, and I couldn't get through it.
You couldn't get to it, right?
No.
I think
I've read a bunch of his stories, though. His short stories are
that's
great.
That's probably why everybody pushes the short stories. Because I was going to say, he wrote plays? Did not know.
He wrote one play. And only, pieces of it are available.
Okay.
And it's set in, ancient Greece or ancient Rome, one of those. It's, yeah.
All right,
I think it's called Pollution.
Let's see what the kids think. They love Poe. We got a bunch of hearts, some hearts. Professor Politico says, if I can download only one episode of WTP, this is going to be the one. Get some applause, some hearts, bravos, well done, bravo, bravo, bravo.
A few
encore.
encores.
Yeah, encore. Well, we're not doing it again. Don't get me wrong. If we took a break and then came back and did it again, we'd probably do it a little better now that we have the rhythm of it.
But there's always next Halloween.
There's always next time. We could just make it an annual thing. And then every year you tune in to hear what goofy lines we insert that time.
That might not be a bad thing to do.
It's not a bad thing. That's going to be the yearly Halloween.
That'll get people coming back every Halloween, maybe,
Yeah, maybe we'll try to make it. I don't know where I should be writing this down, so the year from now I'll find it written down as a reminder. But, somebody out there, Palmer, make a note. Palmer, make a note.
Secretary Palmer.
Buy me a calendar for next year and write this into one thing. All right, so that's our little bit this week. That's our entertainment for you guys. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed doing it. That was a lot of fun. We're trying to. If people have suggestions for something like that, like short stuff that we could maybe do readings of, I don't know. We're open to it. We're open to those suggestions.
Yeah, sure.
I always love doing dramatic readings.
Do you feel like...
we could tell, Ed.
Yeah, you do seem the type.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little bit.
That's all I did in high school.
Yeah, there you go. Well, look, everybody needs a thing. You know what I mean? All right, so let's vamp a little bit because I have to open up the email section.
Let's get
vampy. Vampy. This is going to all the shortcuts from last week. Yeah! Oh, you know what we didn't talk about last week? I can put it in because real quick. Did we talk about Mark Hamill was going to be on?
No,
one of the CB shows.
Hollywood Squares.
He'll always be center square.
I actually don't think he's been on that show.
They should bring that. I'm surprised they don't bring that back. They'll be bringing that back
Yeah,
now that it's been said out loud. Sometime in the next year.
What, you mean the Trickster's coming
Next
back
summer.
on Flash?
Yeah, well, it's a weird thing where like we might be getting a pseudo Joker in a sense where it looks like it's Earth 2. Like some pictures came out of him filming, and Jay Garrick.
So we might be getting him as a Joker type person.
So what I'm thinking is because the pictures have him with purple hair and a little bit of makeup thing going on, that maybe Trickster on Earth 2 is basically just the Joker.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's going to be that version of Trickster is basically his Joker.
Right.
The live action is what we're going to get.
Right.
I have a feeling.
It's a smart idea to put him in the role because I mean
He feels like he's
done it a million times.
when he did the Trickster, he felt like he was like 12 centimeters from just doing the Joker anyway.
Right.
He was almost couldn't, like he was fighting against it, I bet.
Well, it's funny because he was pretty much playing the character he played in the 90s Flash.
Well,
TV
yeah,
show,
I mean, you know.
which funnily enough, he did before he did the Joker.
Right, yeah, which was almost like an audition in a way.
Or he could go in a whole other direction and channel the character he was in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Which was him. No? Wasn't he just himself? I don't know.
No, he was the bad guy in their movie. And he had a giant fist.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Cockknocker.
Cockknocker, there you go.
Okay.
Cockknocker.
All right, there you go. I was blanking on that the whole time.
I couldn't remember the name of the
I'm
guy. I could just picture him in the suit with the fist.
I wasn't picturing anything. I was going blank in my head. Oh, man. All right, so let's get into those emails. Let's see who we got in the bin here, all right? Let's see who's who's hanging out. All right, we got one from James Hazelden Jr.
James in his house.
Better known as James Louisiana.
Jimbo.
All right, so he says, "Hey, it's been a week. If you had and you've had time to see it, if you haven't seen it yet, then you're not into The Walking Dead, I guess, or you're just not into it enough to bitch, whine, moan, and groan about spoilers. I guess so. Suck it up. Bill was right. Red got it. Then surprise, Daryl cost us Glenn. That's a good way to look at it. Daryl actually cost us Glenn.
Oh, that was a fun moment on Talking Dead.
Yeah.
Jeffrey D. Morgan came out.
Yeah,
and
he
he
was
openly said it.
And then even the guy who plays Daryl was like, "Yeah, I kind of saw that too. I was hoping no one was going to point that out." She goes, "So what do you think of the writers turning a loved character like Daryl into the sole reason that another loved character like Glenn is dead? What do I think of that? I think that's great, but I don't think that's what they intended, so they won't play it as they should. You know what? Holy shit. If I got to deal with fucking sad Daryl and blaming himself, Daryl, because, like, obviously they're all going to be sad sacks for a while. I mean, that's just, what this show does, especially with a couple of big characters like that going out the door. But if I got to deal with sad Daryl going, I just blame myself. I don't know if I can go on.
I don't know if we're going to...
I'll be like, just go in the woods then, dude. Take a gun and blow your brains out.
I don't think we're going to see him for a while because they threw him in the back of a van, so they were going to torture him. So
it's the old disappearing Daryl trick.
Yeah,
they do it every now and then.
So I think he'll probably show up like middle of the season.
Yeah. It'll be the great reveal at the mid-season break. It'll be like, no, I like these guys. These guys are cool. You guys just have to come in here and hang out.
Yeah, no, like Rick will finally figure out a way to break him out and escape, and then they'll finally get back in Daryl's.
We gotta do it for Daryl.
Yeah, and then Daryl will just be suicidal.
He'll be like, I don't know what to do. I like these biker guys. They're all greasy and dirty. They're like me. They don't bathe. They don't shower. The ladies love him. The ladies love him. So he goes on, our buddy James. He says, I guess they decided that something is hallmarked to the series as Negan killing Glenn with Lucille was too big of a plot point to rewrite completely. I totally agree. It's too big of a change in the whole thing. They needed to do it. And then to break Rick, wow, he was actually about to take his own son's arm off. So we go into a little bit of this. At least they made use of the extra footage of everyone getting Lucille'd. Yeah, that was a pretty cool touch. He goes in to say his father-in-law, my father-in-law's boycott of the CW continues.
Aww.
So I'm suffering through more seasons.
Remind me if we were even told this. Why?
Well,
what's up with his boycott?
I don't know, Bob, but he's letting us know. Okay. So you stepped on the line. So my father-in-law's boycott of the new CW continues. So I'm suffering through more seasons of Downtown Abbey. Oh, I'm sorry, Downton. Downton. It's called Downtown.
No, that show ended.
Yeah, well, reruns, and maybe Dad's got it forever on the DVR or something.
Just be glad it's not Matlock.
There you go. And you know what? You can sleep right through Abby. I have a feeling that'll put you right out.
Yeah.
That's good going to
sleep.
He's not going
to notice that you're sleeping. He's an old man.
Yeah. If anything, he'll wake you up and tell you to go in the other room. You're snoring too loud. Has anybody seen The Guild? I think he means the online video series. I've seen some of it back when it started. It's been a long time. I know it's blown up into its own thing. It's Geek and Sundry. I think it's one of their shows. What's her name? Redheaded. I can't think of her name.
I don't know.
Fair enough. As soon as Podtoberfest episodes... wait. Has anybody seen The Guild? I'm kind of starting to feel that guy, except they have more hair. Anyway, I don't know. So pretty soon, Podtoberfest episodes will be available, and I'm looking forward to finally hearing what happened. Me too. And finally, would Mr. Ed, Mr. O'Hare, let's keep it Mr. Ed. Would Mr. Ed care to comment on how well his constructive criticism was received by the kids he had to suffer through listening to last week? We got some of that in the bonus episode, I think, a little bit. We'll touch on it. Let me just wrap it up here. All right, I'm done with this one. I think if I think of something else this week, I'll pull an Ed. I'm not even going to try and read this in Spanish. Yo puedo, hola, adios, mi amigos. I got half of it right. So how did the kids react to your constructive criticism?
I don't know.
I gave some and I left.
I wrote them down. You write ballots. I wrote critiques. I handed them in, and then I left.
Mommy, he scared
me. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Just hand it out and say, "All right, kids, I'm done."
Yeah,
I got nothing left.
Do with it what you will.
Do with what you will. Mm-hmm. All right. Next email comes from our buddy Agent Palmer. I thought we were just getting one note. So, this is
he only really deserves one note, but
no. I think Bob thought he was doing something else, and then
I was like, I had a moment of brain freeze. It wasn't like there in front. So I had to pull it from the back, and it just wasn't like coming. It's like you got to get the hard drive going.
There you go.
You got to crank it. You got to crank start it.
That's great.
Well, I'm still on hard drives, not like flash drives.
Okay, you on what, the floppies?
I'm on floppies.
I'm
not on flash drives yet.
What about the 3.5-inch firm discs that had?
No, those I'm done with. I'm on
You're in CDs
regular hard drives. No, regular hard drives.
Okay.
But
just
regular physical hard drives. It's just that now everything's solid state.
Could be the processor speed.
Yeah,
gotta get that dual core.
It's slowing down. Windows, it builds up.
After a while.
It builds up and slows it down.
It's like, why is it so shitty now? 6 months ago, it was great. Okay. So this one's from Agent Palmer, and he starts out, this is funny. The Chicago Cubs, bear with me, Bill. The Chicago Cubs are in the World Series for the first time since 1945 and are looking to win it for the first time since 1908. Is there anything in your life you've been, or would you say you are waiting for, that comes close to that kind of a drought?
I would say sex.
Yeah, immediately by labeling it as a drought, that's basically where my headspace went. But not currently, because I'm now with comics and TV and movies, I'm getting everything that I wanted all my life,
except sex.
Well, yeah, but, when do we not want that as dudes? You know what I mean?
Never.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, that's a given. Like, I could have...
It's like,
You can have it for
Air
breakfast
or sex.
It's I can have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'll still want more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how that goes with that stuff. But as far as like a thing, like, is there anything that's got like this crazy long period of I don't know, like that kind of a drought?
108 years.
Well, maybe not that long, but is there anything in your life that you would say you were waiting for that comes close to that kind of a drought? Maybe there's a book that you always thought should have been adapted and that was never adapted, or you're waiting for like
remaking of Nosferatu.
There you go. I wouldn't mind seeing like a movie about Nosferatu being made, kind of like in that wheelhouse of RKO 183.
There's one of those.
Yeah, there is one. Yeah,
there's one with Willem Dafoe where they
oh
make
my God,
it as
that's
if
right.
he was an actual vampire.
I still haven't seen it. Jesus, you're right. But good call all around. Well, just something in general. But the first thing that comes to my mind is just how pitiful I was. Just hoping for fucking good comic book movies, and finally they came.
Yeah.
And now an abundance, like an overabundance in a way, where it's like, okay. Like,
yeah, but it's such good source material to pull from.
And you know what's funny too is like they're not really scraping the bottom of the barrel either. Like you would have thought by now we would have like a lot of lower companies saying, "All right, let's get this and let's get that one and let's get this one and let's do that one." And there's a lot of like shitty like other company kind of characters. There's not a lot of that.
We own the rights to Airboy.
Right. Well, that's the kind of thing. Well, if you're going to do the recent version of Airboy,
really.
I'll watch that.
Really? Yeah, I would like to tell that story.
That's a good one.
That's like the sequel to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Basically.
That's a science fiction version.
Yeah, it's Fear and Loathing at a comic convention. Okay, so then his next question. He says, also, being that this episode will be released on Halloween, hence why we did the Raven.
There you go.
Now that I presume you don't actually go out and trick or treat, do you have any Halloween traditions? A movie you watch every year, a party you go to, etc. Palmer out. P.S. Where is that Dom kid?
Yeah.
Dom's got an open door. He's allowed to pop in when he wants.
Yeah. I'm going to suggest we start one.
Okay.
Starting this year, and that would be Egg Palmer's house.
Hey, I'll take the ride. You know what I mean? I don't have to technically drive.
You got a couple days, buy a couple dozen eggs, leave them under the bed. Let them
right.
rot.
That sounds good.
Right.
We don't knock on the door. We
don't even stop. We don't even call. We just come there, do that, and leave.
No, man, we make a potato gun for eggs.
Oh, you're gonna
do drive by.
I'd like the rapid fire. I feel like we might take out a window then. I mean, at that point, why don't you just get a T-shirt gun, crack the eggs open, scramble them, and just blast a big yolk nut all over the...
I just like how you call it a yolk nut.
Sorry, that was pretty gross. But, just, batter his house, basically, with chicken wash.
Jeez.
Egg wash, rather. But, no, I mean, outside of... catching some horror stuff that might come on TV. There's no particular thing.
Yeah.
I do kind of look forward. I almost look forward to seeing the movie Halloween, the original, somewhere on TV at some point.
Actually, one thing I like.
Yeah.
I don't know if they show it anymore, but I think I have it somewhere downloaded. But Bravo had a 100 scariest movie moments.
Okay, sure, I could do that.
That's a great little. I think there's like 5 specials, but like John Landis is one of the talking heads in that.
Okay,
and he's the greatest. No, but
he's fun.
It's a great, and it's interesting to see. I like it because it's not all straight up horror movies. Like they have like Jaws and Alien in there,
right?
I think even Willy Wonka. It just scary, frightening moments in some normal movies, along with all those horror movies. What the hell could be a different
Willy Wonka from what the
original? Oompa Loompas, dude.
No. It's the boat ride.
Yeah, but I feel like that doesn't count unless you're a kid. Like you have to be a kid to be scared by anything in that movie.
It's still weird. It's still kind of creepy.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah. The longer you watch that movie, the more unsettling it gets.
Yeah.
I will agree with that. It turns basically into some fucked up thing. And then eventually they it all goes all right. Conveniently.
It was weird seeing Tim Burton do that movie and still do it as a kid's movie. And I think that's kind of like...
Well, how else would you do it?
If you read that book...
Oh, it's all.
Well, it's like Alice in Wonderland. You got to realize it's really not meant for kids.
Yeah, it's really written by adults for adults, supposedly for kids too. But it's really written by adults for adults in a way. You know, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, like it has a lot of that double meaning, that subtextual kind of stuff. But it's usually it's that's what's there for the adults.
That's something I've been waiting for. Is a film version of Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator.
There you go.
The sequel.
That's a good one.
That's an intense.
Oh, those buttons! Oh my gosh, what would you do, Grandpa? We're going straight to the moon.
No, you get to meet the Vermicious Knids.
Well, you know, listen.
They're not to be trifled with.
I wouldn't vote for them anyway. I guess they're running on your platform. I'm not sure. So back to Palmer's email. That wrapped it up. They said words about Dom, and we explained that.
Yep.
So
Palmer out.
Palmer out.
Get the fuck out.
Get out inside. Then we got one from Steph.
Stephanie
Munoz from the Gotham Lights podcast. She says, "Hey, yous guys.
Hey.
I'm back. Sorry about missing last week with the email. I was busy at Phoenix Fan Fest working the celebrity photo booth again.
Hey.
It was a lot of fun and much slower paced than the bigger Phoenix Comic Con. My question this week. My question this week, sticking with the Fan Fest Comic Con theme.
All right.
When was the last time you attended a Comic Con? And do you prefer shopping the vendor hall or seeing panels? Also, don't stop the pre-show periscopes. All right, Steph, we'll keep those coming.
Cool.
There you go.
Take care, fellas. Your pal, Steph. So the question was, when was the last time you attended a Comic-Con? Ed?
I think it was
a long time ago.
Fan Expo Canada. I think it was 2013. And that was...
the night in question?
Yes.
That was the night of?
That is the reason I hate Canadians.
That story ties into the fan thing? I didn't know that you were up there for a Fan Expo thing.
Yeah.
Or was the Fan Expo thing a thing that was on the itinerary because you were there anyway?
No. I went there to Fan Expo Canada.
Right.
To meet with someone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he ended up traumatized.
Yeah.
Well, I ended up traumatized.
Yeah, that's enough of that. That's today's chapter.
Yeah.
That's today's slice of the mystery.
I can just quickly answer this and say never.
Sure. There you go. Bob's never been to a Comic-Con. I think, 2 years ago, I think, I went to the New York City one with my girlfriend at the time, and just wasn't feeling it. It was just too much. It was just too many people. It was just too crowded for me. I probably also, too, hadn't been to one in a while, so whatever expectations I had, it was a disconnect.
Well, I would say the thing I like to do is Artist Alley.
And that's what I probably should have done. I really didn't make my way over to Artist Alley. And I probably would have, once I got there, you know what, now thinking about it, I probably would have lingered there longer.
Yeah, and, you look who's there beforehand, and you do a small stack. You have, maybe 4 or 5 books, and you walk up to guy, and most of them are very friendly. The writers don't usually charge for autographs.
Yeah.
It's just a nice place, to meet someone who writes something that you read every month,
absolutely.
and just say hey and thank you, and just there's a little bit of chit chat.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've always dug on meeting certain creators and stuff like that. I feel like I'd rather stand online to get a moment to talk to you.
Yeah,
if anything, than have you sign something. Especially if I got to pay for a signature, I'm not paying for a signature. I'll pay an artist to draw something. I'll give you a deposit. Come back 3 hours later for a finished picture from you. Like I don't care. I'll pay obviously more, but I'm not paying.
Hey, you know what? Instead, tell them, hey, listen. Instead of me paying you $10 for your autograph, why don't I just spend $20 and buy you lunch, and I can talk to you for 10, 15 minutes. You know what I mean?
Do you mind?
Yeah. How about we do that? Is that possible?
I mean, I could sit.
I'll do the $10 thing, and I'll just. But I'd really rather spend a couple of minutes with you. So, I wouldn't mind spending $20 on a sandwich across the street. You
want me to get something? Come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sit at the table. I can sit at the table. You 15 minutes.
Can I sit right here while you're doing? You can talk to everybody else. I'll get one question in between. But yeah, I don't think. I really didn't dig it. It was just out of control here in New York at Jacob Javits, and that's just my take on it for me. Like let that not be indicative of what was really going on there. That's just my spin.
I mean, my experience with Comic-Cons, you really have to go in there with a game plan.
You definitely do.
You have to know.
I had no game plan. I had no specific, even like remotely things that I wanted to get. You know,
the Jacob Javits is one of the largest convention centers on Earth. So.
Yeah. And we're using almost all of it now. And I say we because I work there.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. For a long time, like half of the Javits Center wasn't being used for New York Comic Con, and it was impossible.
Well, that was the thing too. Like I remember going to Jacob Javits for that when in its infancy, when it moved to Jacob Javits.
Yeah.
Like and back then and being like, okay, we're in like these two big halls.
You were like 10 or 11 when you went.
I used to go. We used to go every year, and that phased out. And then for a while, it wasn't at Jacob Javits anymore.
I don't think it was there at all. There was no New York Comic Con.
No, well, there was no New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
It was a Jacob Javits comic book convention.
Oh, okay.
You know, they branded it. It became New York Comic Con eventually. What happened was it was there for a while. Jacob Javits went through this giant renovation stuff, and when it came out of renovation, it wasn't there for a long time. And I think there might have been some shenanery at the Jacob Javits. Might have been some broken noses, if you know what I mean.
Oh, that's all. Yeah. It's all broken noses.
You know what I'm saying? But not to get to Tony Soprano about it, but you know what I mean.
You know, it's a family affair.
Let's just say it was an investigation by a federal agency, and leave it at that. Everybody was acquitted of all charges, allegedly.
People named Hoffa may or may not have been.
Hey, hold on, Bob. No goods, no names. But anyway, so when it finally came back, I hadn't been there until last year. So the whole thing is now so much bigger. Really should have came with a game plan. My whole thing is I don't want to sit in for TV show panels. I feel like as much as like, oh, I like that show, I like those people. Like you're not going to glean anything from that.
Yeah,
you're not going to get any new insight.
Right, you're not going to get nothing that you're going to not get from another source.
And also, those particular, like you're saying, those particular panels all pop up online anyway, so you can watch those after the fact. Your time would be better spent at a panel of something smaller that you could actually probably get a decent seat for too. Yeah. That's a couple of your favorite creators talking about a particular topic or something like that. But you definitely have to go with a game plan,
right?
Yeah, for the big ones, for the big cons. If you're just going to go in and wander around, you'll just get lost in the shuffle. I just ended up feeling like cattle after a while, and it was just moving around, and it was like, wow, I guess I want a T-shirt. I guess a million
I can't do any of the things I want to do because the lines are too freaking long. So what do I do now?
Either that or if you have time and because there are a lot of places that have like 50-cent books and dollar books, $2 books.
I made a couple good deals. I found a guy who was selling graphic novels. It was only graphic novels in his bins, and they were all half price, half cover price. So that was cool.
That's good.
I made some good picks out of there. Some of them, anyway. I'm not saying that the Kevin Smith Bionic Man book was really that great, but I read it.
But it was half price.
You gotta stick with it till he does Sasquatch.
Well, that's what I was hoping for.
I think that's like the third or fourth book.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that explains that.
Did they draw a Sasquatch that looks like a man wearing a suit?
Well, you'd be surprised how consistent they are with keeping it looking like the show. So
what's
else?
Next?
What's next? There's not much else on that one. That was it for Sammy. That's it for the emails. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for emails. We got no more emails. No more emails. Not even one last email. There's no emails. We'll have more next week.
So we got a nice tight show going.
We got a nice tight show. We're at an hour and a half. We could stop right now.
We could.
We could.
Mm-hmm.
We could.
We could.
Yeah, we could.
We could.
We could.
We could.
I think we will.
We might.
Yeah.
We might.
We might.
You might?
You might, Rabbit. You might.
That's what I was waiting for. That's what I was waiting for. Not from him, but I was going to say it too. I get it all the time.
You might, Rabbit. You might.
Oh, you might, Rabbit. You might.
You might.
You might.
That's right. It's an Irish accent, right?
Yeah.
You might, Rabbit. You might.
Dom's dad used to pull it out all the time at work. Fucking. I'm like, I don't know. I might. He's like, oh, you might, Rabbit. You might. And I'm like, this fucking guy.
All right. We have a request.
We have a request.
We have a request.
Stop the bad Irish accents.
Thomas K.
I have a request of our chat room.
What
cartoon is that from?
Okay, so we have dueling requests. I think I know how this is going to go because of who they came from. But Bill's going to make the decision here. So Thomas K. wants to talk about CW Heroes shows.
Mm-hmm.
And Agent Palmer says, stop, don't ruin a good thing. After show, after show, after show.
Palmer is such a producer, man. He's like, right now, like when he looked at the time, when we pointed out the time, he was like, perfect, stop now, 1 hour and a half, ding, ding, where's the fucking bell? Like done, take it out of the oven, you know, and he's right, that's the benchmark, that's what we shoot for, is an hour and a half. We can touch base on it real quick. I guess CW stuff, because I mean it doesn't go too deep for me anymore, you know, or not that it ever really did outside of Flash. But all right, real quick.
Okay, so on Supergirl, we got to meet Maggie Sawyer,
who is
she's a cop. She's a character in she's actually Batwoman's fiance right now.
Okay, thank God you made her valuable, because otherwise she was just a cop.
Yeah.
Like, who was there?
No, but she introduced us to the underground world of aliens living in Metropolis.
Oh my gosh! Like illegal aliens? They got an immigrant problem too?
Extraterrestrials.
Oh,
and the
ones we should be really worried about.
The big end of the episode reveal is J'onn J'onzz runs into McGann Moores. Miss Martian.
Done. Next.
Okay.
Well, I heard that as far as Luke Cage goes, Misty Knight will be getting her bionic arm.
Yeah, you know, what was funny was that felt like, not to spoil it, but it was like the one thing that they kind of didn't completely set up, but you know it's coming.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? If you know about it, you know it's coming at some point.
Yeah, she's going to end up being on the Defenders, right?
Yeah, basically. She's got to be.
Flash, we got a new set of rogues.
By the way, Defenders, I don't know, just in case anybody else was confused, because I was confused, there's actually going to be 8 episodes of that miniseries.
Okay.
I was under the impression it was a 2-hour thing. Then I was under the impression it was a 4-hour thing. Turns out 8 episodes. Yeah. Anyway.
But, okay, good idea, though, to do it in a
condensed
thing.
Yeah.
Maybe they could just make it a one-off season.
Yeah, just one and done, and then maybe down the line, a couple of years out.
If it's a hit, they'll pull out specials every now and then, because
exactly.
they can tie everybody from their shows together in these specials.
They're all down a block from each other.
Yeah.
It's a subway ride. What were you going to point out next, Ed?
Over on Flash, on Tuesday, we got some new rogues. The Mirror Master has finally made his appearance, and we also met the Top.
Yeah, but he taught Mirror Guy a lesson in like 30 seconds.
Which was so stupid. Which was the worst, lame fucking science I've ever seen in my life.
But that's Mirror Master.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you can't sit there and be like, I completely surrounded you with mirrors. Now you can't get out of this circle of objects that you could just bump over with your shoulder on the side.
I think that's straight out of the 60s, bro.
That's the fucking problem, Ed.
But you know what? When you're standing in front of mirrors to set up like that, you don't even know which way is up.
I do. I know that in between each one of those mirrors was a light post that I could walk in between both of those mirrors and walk out of the circle, because they showed us that. But instead, when they're in the circle, they keep it moving enough with the camera, so you really don't kind of notice the layout. But then they pull an overhead shot where you can see exactly how it's all set up. And that guy's a moron for standing there in the middle. Just saying, for staying there like, oh, I guess you got me.
He's in shock, bro.
Yeah, because he's fucking lame. He's as lame as his name. And the Top, you mean Vertigo Girl? Disorientation Lass?
Yes.
Like, that's what they should have called her. I'm Woozy Girl. I make you woozy. Here's some Dramamine. All right, defeated. Next. Like, whatever. Scraping a bomb for the fucking rogues on there, I think. Well, that's the problem with Flash's characters.
Yeah.
They get progressively silly the deeper you go.
Right, because, it throughout his history, it's degenerated into humor.
It is that.
You know?
Well, yeah,
and
but
a lot of DC stuff did in the 70s, so it's hard to pull these characters out of that stuff
and make them
serious.
Yeah, that's the challenge. That is the challenge of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a brighter show. I think they're going for the fun factor, and that's
they are, and they're landing that.
Yeah, but there is some dramatic tension. You know, Caitlin is slowly turning into Killer Frost.
Yeah,
and she's having problems handling that.
Oh, was that a joke? I get it, handling that, because she uses her hand to make the frost.
Yeah.
That's not even what you were going for.
No, it wasn't.
But,
that should tell you how, dry it was.
Yeah, but my point being that,
but anyway,
with that storyline, I'm already like, how long is this going to go on? Where it's behind the scenes, and eventually she has to fess it up because it's not a secret anymore. Everyone's figured it out. Caitlin, like, don't you know how this goes? Where were you for the other 3 seasons of this show? Everyone's going to figure it out. Just fess it up. Just like, what are you fucking scared of?
Really, just one day, someone's over there damn it, we got no cold soda. Here, let me help you.
Yeah. Hey,
There you go.
convenient.
Surprise!
Instead, what is she going to do for the next 6 months? She's going to put makeup on top of the face that she's getting now because her face is going to go start looking like that other chick.
I don't know.
She got the blue lips already.
That's what I mean. Now you got to put lipstick on top of that, and then it's going to wear off. People are going to be like, "What's this? What's this purple shade?"
Are you in the pool too long or something? What's going on?
I'm interested to see if she slowly turns into a supervillain.
Never. Not on that show. Never. Once you're a good guy forever on that show.
Well, that's the tragedy of it.
If you don't turn out to be bad in the end of season 1, by the end of the season you're introduced, then you're a good guy forever on that show. There's no turning down. There's no changing of you.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll see.
We'll have the question: am I going to be bad? Am I going to be bad? Am I going to be bad?
Is it going to make me bad? That's her
No.
whole. That's her whole.
Barry will be like, no, because you're not
Come
a
out
bad
to the-
person, Caitlin. I know you're not.
Come out to the curved hallway and let's have a talk about it.
Yeah, we all love you. You're a good person.
You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
Okay. And then that'll be the end of it for 2
Yeah.
seasons. And then someone will try and brainwash her or something.
And she'll end up with a costume and she'll be fighting crime left and right.
Meanwhile, on Arrow.
Oh, okay. How's that going?
So he's Oliver's got this new team together, and Ragman leaves, and then he comes back, and Wild Dog is around, and they broke Diggle out of prison, even though he didn't want to be broken out of prison.
Of course not. He's a man of morals and responsibility. He probably deserved to be in prison. I'm sure, because Diggle's a fucked up dude, so I'm sure that he was in there for a good reason.
Yeah, but actually, what's interesting is, you know what's really good this season? The flashbacks.
They fixed that flashback element?
like now he's breaking into the Russian mob. He's part of the Bratva.
Okay, so that's actually... Wow, the fact that that's actually being done well. I mean, I know where that's going. I know who they're... I mean, down the pike, Dolph Lundgren is supposed to pop up on the show. So... That's where that's.
But I'm actually enjoying that. I think it's interesting.
Now, are the flashbacks better than the main story?
Come in peace.
They just seem to be more compelling because you don't know where that's going.
It's just because the last 2 seasons worth of flashbacks were so bad.
That's what I kept on hearing from people. Yeah,
this is just by comparison.
Yeah, well, by comparison, from what I understand from everybody who's watching it, this season's like 100 times better than the last 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Well, it's good. I mean, it's good for them.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
They're back to season 2 form,
Which was supposedly the highlight.
And they're breaking in new heroes, so you can see,
right.
There's a new team dynamic going on. There's fresh characters.
Because that's what I love. I love people that we have to train again. Like we have to train more people. Like we went through 3.5 seasons of putting a team together to break it apart, to get new people to train for 3 seasons before we'll break that all apart. And it's like, whatever.
Well, it's House season 4. We'll see.
It's House season.
Let's just
4.
hope it doesn't devolve into House season 8.
Ooh, I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? We got Legends of
right.
Tomorrow.
So,
And in Legends of Tomorrow, they went to feudal Japan and fought samurai.
Nice.
Yes, the
Nice.
samurai
Konnichiwa.
ended up stealing Adam's suit, and they had to defeat it.
Did he know how to use it?
Yes.
He figured it out?
Well, evidently, Ray made it really easy.
Oh, okay.
Made it so that an idiot could use it.
Yeah, basically.
Do I hit this big red button?
Yeah.
But so the hemophiliac who
Is that his name?
who they gave super
What a
serum.
horrible supervillain name.
No.
The hemophiliac.
No, there's this historian.
These DC characters are really running, scraping the bottom. See, I told you.
Let's just call him Captain Bleed Out.
That's it. Bloody mess.
Yeah, so he's Steel. That's he's Commander Steele's grandson.
Yeah.
So basically, they gave him super serum, and now he doesn't have
Hemophilia?
anymore, and he has steel skin, like a Colossus type thing,
So now he has hyperphilia.
but he can't control it.
Ultraphilia?
Yeah.
Megaphilia.
Yeah, so the whole episode was him learning how to control it. And in the end, he ends up having to destroy the Atom suit.
Oh, no. So now what?
We don't know what Ray Palmer is going to do.
So they kick him off the team, right? Because it's like, Ray, we don't need you now. You're useless. Later, dick. Like, right? Let's drop you back in your timeline. Bloop, bloop. Make another suit. Give us a call.
Pick up your severance check outside.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have the materials here on the ship to make a new suit, so we're going to have to drop you off in your timeline.
Yeah, where are you, Adam? I can't really.
Oh, that would have been great if he was already small when they busted the suit. And it's like, sorry, tiny boy. Hopefully we don't step on you. Stay out of the way.
Yeah, really.
And what about the other 7 shows that they have?
I mean, those are the CW.
Oh,
shows.
okay. Well, that's fine.
I mean, we can go into Gotham if you really want to.
Are we done yet?
But we'll leave that. We'll leave that to Sammy and Hal.
Yeah, we leave that to the professionals.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, Ed,
We start talking about S.H.I.E.L.D., I'm out of here.
we talk about. I got nothing to talk about with S.H.I.E.L.D. I just haven't. I haven't watched. I watched the premiere. I think in one episode somewhere after that. 3 or 4,
Right.
and I just
Ghost Rider is still around.
Yeah, well, but they're still, but still not
they
part of the
lead
team.
ratings.
Yeah, but still not part of the team, and they're still kind of mucking him all up.
Yeah.
Even that version that they have, they're kind of
I'll
mucking
be
it
over
up.
here fixing my car when you need me to burn things.
Basically. It's that whole, like, you're the bad guy, then we find out you're the good guy, but now we have to help you with your storyline, and then, like, we're just setting it up for eventually where it'll be like, you go your way, we'll go ours, and then we leave it open for later teaming up again.
There was some weird thing this week where they broke into a prison to get something, and then he found someone who he needed to kill, so Ghost Rider just killed him.
Just one guy in a prison that the Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance felt like deserved some punishment? That's it?
Really?
That's bullshit.
It's
I call it bullshit.
It's the guy who called the hit that ended up paralyzing his brother.
Oh, well, of course, because that's storyline number 2 we have to resolve for him.
Yeah.
And storyline number 1, we'll get to that.
Yeah, and the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Confessed to the world that he is an Inhuman.
Oh, what's he do? Do we know his skill set?
He's like it's the character who was Captain America in the 70s.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But I mean,
he can turn anything he touches into a toaster.
That's not that bad. You can make money off that. You can at least sell the toasters.
Yeah.
Craigslist all the way, baby. But he hasn't displayed any inhuman ability.
He's got super strength.
Okay, at this stage, that's really it.
Yeah,
he's just,
I mean, you see, like he can do stuff. Like they've shown, like little
do
things.
stuff. I can do stuff.
Yeah.
What is stuff? Not math, but I can do other stuff.
I don't know. I keep going in and out. I keep like half falling asleep during some of these episodes, so I don't remember exactly.
As long as you don't half fall asleep during this episode, that's all I care about.
We're talking about something that we are not really that interested in.
It's so
I think it's
good.
time to end the episode.
It's so good. I use it for mental breaks. That's how great this show is. High praise from us over here for the S.H.I.E.L.D. show. All right, so we're going to wrap up this episode. This is the regular episode. We're going to go into some after-show talk. If you're listening to this after the fact, not live, after-show is only really live. But if you miss it and you follow us on Patreon, that's where you can find it. Everybody else, hang out. Don't go anywhere. We're going to wrap it up. Ed, you're on the webs.
You can find me on Twitter at Edward O'Hare TBD.
Brother Bob, you're on the webs.
At Bob WTPC.
I'm on the webs at Wicked Theory. You can find the show at wickedtheory.com. You can find all of our episodes on almost all of the major podcast platforms if you don't like the one you're listening to now. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys, if you guys like the Raven thing, hey, send us an email. Let us know. Give us a heads up on that. I can't wait to listen back to that and hate all of it probably because I just constantly over-criticize myself. But, yeah, I guess that's it. Brother Bob, you can take us out, man.